afternoon. My name is Ms. Parson Yusuf, and today I'll be presenting a lesson which is teacher-centered, or also known as didactic teaching method. Okay, today's topic is air pollution. I would first like to begin by presenting these pictures of air pollution to the class. First, what is seen here, as you can observe a child that is coughing. There is smoke emanating from the exhaust of vehicles. Likewise here, you have burning of garbage, and the smoke is emitted into the atmosphere. Likewise, you see there's many vehicles in this image, and you can see how foggy the atmosphere is because it is contaminated. And this picture shows the depiction of the earth as it stands in terms of air pollution. Now when we talk about air, first thing we must think about, why is air so important to us? Air is important to all living beings as such because we need it to breathe. If the air is unhealthy, that would have an effect on us and our environment as well. So before I go any further, I would like to show a brief video on air pollution. And let us begin. After pupils would have observed the video, we will now be discussing what is air pollution based off of what was seen on the chart and on the video, what they would have learned. So first, I would like to begin by saying, what is air pollution? We all know air is very important to us and also for plants and animals. Okay, now that I would have this presented a video based off of air pollution, and I would have displayed pictures depicting air pollution, I now would like to raise the question that yes, indeed, air is important to us because it's all necessary for our survival. Now, according to this video that was seen, some form of air pollution includes emission from factories, burning of fossil fuels, and we have exhaust emissions from motor cars. Even more prevalent today, everybody has a car. There's so many vehicles on the road. All of these contributes to air pollution. We also have burning of garbage. We have, and even in present day, we're even manufacturing more different types of products, and in doing so, there are more factories, and more factories leads to more pollution into our air. Now that we would, there's also a natural cause of air pollution, which are volcanic eruptions. But when we think about it, more air pollutions are caused by humans than natural causes. Now, some effects. Since we would have discussed what causes air pollution, I'll now get into the definition. What is air pollution? Air pollution basically is the contamination of our air, of the air that we breathe, the contamination of air in our atmosphere. Now, this contaminated air, when we breathe it in, it can cause a wide range of health issues in humans. For instance, breathing in contaminated air over a period of time can cause cancer in humans. It can cause issues with asthmatic persons. It can cause bronchitis and even skin disease, because those tiny contaminants in the air can get onto the human skin and it can cause irritation. Now, in terms of our environment, air pollution causes something called acid rain. When those contaminants get into our atmosphere, it contaminates the water. Now, when the rain falls, that water is now contaminated with different chemical compounds. When that contaminated rainwater gets gets into waterways or water streams, it can affect aquatic life. It can harm the fishes or aquatic animals. It also harms our plants, which can stunt their growth. And even more importantly, a very big consequence of air pollution is climate change. So air pollution causes something called the greenhouse effect. Now that greenhouse effect causes the warming of our earth, of our planet. Now when the earth becomes warmer, it changes the overall climate in different areas. Some areas you might be notice it's getting warmer than usual. And when some results of climate change could be melting of icebergs, rising sea levels, and overall changes in our climate. You may have more flooding in certain areas, or you can have extended periods of drought due to the earth being warmer. Now, when we take, and in our country, Guyana, it has been seen even in this current year that there has been extended periods of drought and dry weather. All of that is caused by climate change, which a great contributing factor is air pollution. Another effect of air pollution, which to be practical, when our air is polluted, sometimes it may become foggy, or in the atmosphere it may not be clear to see. So picture an aircraft flying up in the air in a very highly condensed and smoky atmosphere. Do you think the pilot will see where he's going? I don't think so. So that would be a dangerous situation. So air pollution as itself is dangerous for both humans, animals, plants, and our environment. Another point to note, the acid rain also causes damage to our buildings and landscapes. It will cause it to deteriorate faster. Now we would have discussed some effects of pollution on our environment. I would now like to discuss what are some ways we can prevent this, because we all want our environment, our earth, to be inhabited by future generations. We want it to be less polluted. We want it to be a healthier environment for generations to come. So in doing so, we need to think about what are some things that we can do to counteract this issue. We can start by doing little things, such as in terms of, instead of burning garbage, we can try to recycle. We can try to produce less garbage in our households by recycling items and avoid burning them. Another thing we can do, avoid our electricity consumption. We can also switch to use solar energy, because solar energy would be a safer alternative to produce an electricity for our household rather than the normal electricity supplied by power companies. All of those things to produce electricity, the fuel that they use to generate it gives off different pollutants that pollutes our air. We can also plant more trees, because as you know, trees are very important to our environment. They absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen, which we all need. So if we avoid cutting down trees and plant more trees, we can have cleaner air. Some other things that we may be able to do: avoid using personal vehicles, especially if we're going for a short distance from our homes. We don't need to use our vehicles. We can use our bicycles, we can walk, and also to avoid using personal car, we can use public transportation, which reduces the amount of vehicles on the road. Because at the end of the day, we want our environment to be prosperous and healthy for not only us, but for future generations to come. And we would like to preserve our environment so to avoid future calamities and disasters, such as climate change, and also counteracting its effects on human health and the environment as a whole. Okay, now that I would have discussed with my class what is air pollution, the effects of air pollution on our environment and on humans, as well as solutions to reduce air pollution, I will now present the class with a worksheet containing 5 questions, after which children will discuss their answers and share it with the class. So after discussion, we will now have a brief recapping of what was done for this lesson, which entails basically air pollution is the pollution of contaminants into our atmosphere, and these pollutants can stem from emissions from cars, gases, smoke emissions from factories, burning of fossil fuels, burning of garbage, and you have a natural cause of air pollution, which is volcanic eruptions. Now all of these sources of pollution, most of them are caused by us humans. So since majority of these forms of air pollution is caused by us as humans, it's now our responsibility to take it upon ourselves to try reduce air pollution to guarantee a more healthier environment for future generations to come, or for us to preserve our planet. Some possible effects that air pollution have on our planets, on our health, includes respiratory issues such as bronchitis, asthma, cancer, and it has also skin disease. Then we have effects on our environment. It causes something called acid rain, which can affect plants or aquatic life or plants, and even cause damage to buildings and landscapes. You have a very important effect, which is climate change. The emission of air pollution causes greenhouse gases to go up, to be exposed into our atmosphere, and that causes our climate to become warmer. It can cause icebergs to melt, rising sea levels, increased flooding, prolonged periods of drought in certain areas. So, in closing, for us to prevent all of these things, we can play our own role to help reduce air pollution by simply, instead of burning garbage, we try to recycle and reduce. Reduce burning garbage, because those would emit tiny particles into the air, which can cause irritation to the skin and eyes and so forth. We can also avoid using public transportation, avoid using motor vehicles, use more bicycles and walk for short distances, and avoid using public transportation. We can also utilize solar energy to power our homes. So in closing this lesson, preventing air pollution would provide a better future, a cleaner environment, a healthier environment for all of us and for future generations. Okay, I would like to close this lesson by saying In terms of the didactic teaching approach, I think the lesson, it was informative. However, in a modern classroom, when we're dealing with smaller groups of pupils, which is mostly applied to us at primary level, it is more advisable to get our pupils involved in the discussion throughout the lesson, because that would help us to ascertain what they know, help them to think and share their ideas as well, and in overall that will promote learning. So the lesson, though it was informative, it needed more pupil interaction, and would have been better to allow them to participate in the lesson, because that way to ensure that they learn throughout the process of the lesson. Thank you.